Hey guys, MaliciousCompliance here, and welcome back to day 3 of Malicious Compliance. And yes, there is no face cam, because I'm doing this different. I'm making things up as I go. But I was scrolling through for some more stories, and I found this one. I don't work here anymore. Hey boss, got an opening? Oh, this is gonna be good, isn't it? Worked for a medical transportation company that had a contract with Medicaid. One of their many rules was that you could not provide any assistance to the patients inside of their house. One elderly lady had an old house with a very small foyer that you had to climb 3 steps to get to the main floor. The only other entrance was around the back and up 2.5 flights of rickety steps to an old deck that opened to a bedroom. Upstairs, she's in a wheelchair. Common sense says take her in the front door up 3 stairs and she's home on the level she lives on. Medicaid says take her up the outside stairs, dump her in the bedroom upstairs, and let her worry about getting down to the living room level. What? We ignored their policy and took her in the front anyway. A random inspection by a random inspector showed that we were not in compliance. We appealed. The inspector came out and saw different options and decided that we had no case for appeal. Take her up the outside stairs. Nope. From then on, when the driver arrived at her house, we would get her out of the van in the sidewalk, and then get on the radio and tell the boss to shove his stupid job. Now that he was no longer an employee, he was free to assist this lovely person into her front door and up the stairs. Once finished, they would come back to the van, tell the boss they reconsidered, and ask for their job back. Boss was always understanding and took them back, but very carefully noted the 10 to 15 minute break in their employment to show that the company remained in compliance. Aftermath, we had contests to see who would have the most dramatic I quit scene. Medicaid noted our activities, but couldn't put a handle on how to stop it. Malicious compliance achieved. Nice. Just nice. Ooh, I love my spice. So let's go for. Is this the hottest wing you have? I used to own a wing joint. Nothing fancy, but a good selection of wing flavors and beer. Inevitably, we would have people come in and order the suicide wings. I like super spicy foods, so these were pretty damn hot. Of those people, about 5 to 10% would always start the joke, sarcastic conversation. These aren't that hot. Can you do better? Yuck, yuck, yuck. One of my best regulars, a dentist who I cannot speak. I am sorry. One of my regulars, a dentist who fancied himself a gardener, decided to help us out and planted a ghost pepper bush, at the time the world's hottest pepper in the world, and he could bring us the bounty of his harvest. And he would intentionally underwater the bush so the peppers would be as hot as they could be. Oh, okay. So yeah, underwater ghost pepper bush, and it's gonna be even hotter. Okay. He would then bring us the peppers. I would grind them, seeds and all, into a nice paste, which I would combine with our suicide sauce and keep to the side when our spicy wing connoisseurs show up and complain about the suicide sauce not being hot enough. I would only serve them one death head wing. Seemed a fitting name. I would make them wear gloves to eat it, to prevent capsaicin burns on their skin. I'll specifically tell them about the heat they were about to get into, trying to dissuade them from eating this culinary monstrosity. By the time we got through all this, every single person always now viewed this as an insult to their manhood. Never had a woman complain about heat, but would sometimes ask if there was another level they could try. What? And could not be stopped from eating this wing. So they did. The fun thing about capsaicin oil is that it can take a few seconds to kick. Usually enough time for the person to scoff down the wing and start to smugly tell us how it wasn't that hot. And then the heat would begin. And once it started, it was relentless. The wing was free, but the cup of milk after was $20. Never had a single person ask for a second one. I need to go to this place. I love my spicy food, and I've never tried ghost pepper before, so that would be a good kick. Okay, we're gonna go one more story, I think. Since we're on the theme of food, with the last post, we'll go, my meal must be salt-free. And this is a large story, so sit back, relax. This story is from a dinner party hosted before the pandemic. I invited 6 folks, and shortly after the invites were sent, I received a call from Sally. Sally advised me that she was now on a salt-free diet due to medical reasons. She advised that at home she cooked without any salt and gave me a speech about how wonderful salt-free life was. I was skeptical and told her that I would personally find it difficult to give up all salt. Well, she saw she wasn't just on a low-sodium diet. Sally advises that unless her dish was salt-free, she wouldn't be attending. While telling her no was an option, I'm not that person. See my previous malicious compliance. This person's got a previous one? I was pissed off at Sally for years of being difficult at the dinner table and restaurants. Trust me, there was always something wrong with her meal. Or its preparation, or the flavour, or the water, or with a smile so large you could hear it through the phone. I assured her that her request for salt-free was 100% going to be accommodated. On the dinner night, I prepped the meal. Sally was getting the same thing as everyone else, with one critical difference. All of her food was prepped in separate containers, baked on separate racks, seasoned with the exact same flavors, sans salt. Dinner time, and my guests arrive. I have all of Sally's food plated on white plates. Everyone else gets grey plates. First round. Appetizers. Fried calamari with a lemon jalapeno butter sauce. That sounds like a good sauce. This dish typically has salt in both the batter and the sauce. Sally couldn't have that. I battered her calamari in salt-free seasonings and flour. Her condiment looked exactly the same, but was made with unsalted butter and no added salt. I placed Sally's plate in front of her first, and she immediately states she asked for salt-free. I assure her that her dish is salt-free, and I made sure to cook hers separate and use a different coloured plate to keep it straight. We all sit to talk and enjoy the squid. Sally takes a bite and makes a face. "Mine has no flavour," she exclaims. All my other guests tell Sally it's divine, delicious, the best they've had, etc. I smile at Sally and assure her that her dish was flavoured exactly as everyone else. The only difference is that she received absolutely no salt. It's at this point that Sally has a moment of clarity. It's painfully obvious on her face. She realizes she can't complain about the lack of salt, as she's already told the table about her salt-free life. She also can't claim it tastes terrible if everyone else is raving about the food. She literally looks like she was about to cry at the table. As my guests enjoyed their dinner, Sally is slowly doing the toddler plays with her food munch and pushing her calamari around the plate. After a few moments, she reaches for the sauce that I made for everyone else. Sally, be careful. The salt-free sauce is in the white bowl. That one has salt. She mumbles something about wanting to taste the difference before literally dumping the bowl on her calamari. Then she exclaims how much better it tastes. You and I know that, of course. Things taste better with salt. So this drama repeats itself over the main course of honey roasted salmon with pine nuts. I also am no heathen and had both salt and pepper on the table for my guests. I'm not going to judge you for needing more flavor. Here we go. Sally takes a bite of her fish and once again realizes it has no salt. She reaches for the salt shaker and conversation stops. Another guest asks Sally if she was okay with adding salt to her food. She says she can occasionally have salt. Oh, we have a bit of a change. She proceeds to shower her fish with salt sprinkles. I also baked some cookies for dessert. The dough uses a little salt. I made sure to whip up a separate batch of cookies wrapped to go for her. Salt-free, of course. When I handed her those cookies, the look of defeat that hit her face warmed my heart. Dinner is over. Everyone is happy except for Sally. I called her the next week to make sure she was okay as she consumed sodium at my party. Sally told me her doctor had removed her sodium restrictions and she wouldn't need that accommodation at future meals. On the phone, I congratulate her for her good health. When I hang up, I laugh until my sides hurt. Salt-free life apparently doesn't taste good when the salt is actually omitted. Note, to any on a low or no sodium diet for their health, I commend you. Sally, however, wasn't actually on this diet. This was evidenced by her shock at how salt-free food tasted. I confirmed with her husband that she'd never stop using salt at home. Her salt-free claims were a ploy for attention that backfired tastelessly. TLDR, Sally lied and said she required a salt-free diet. She is defeated and miserable when forced to eat salt-free food. Common question. Why are we friends? Sally is married to one of my best friends. As my friend has elected to stay married to her, I have tolerated her. I wouldn't call her a friend, but we are what we are. But we are where we are. Okay. That was a bit of a longer episode, I guess. Actually, it's almost been the same length. Impressive. I'm consistent so far. Anyways, links will be in the description to both my main channel and this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.